Yo, welcome back to Dolphins United, the platform for Dolphins. You heard me. We back. This is part 2. All right, we're going to be talking about the defense on this video. Has the defense gotten better? Okay, let's get into this thing real quick here, man. Look, after this video comes out, I'm going to be dropping in the next day or two another video talking about the record, what I believe the record will be. I'll try to have like the schedule on the screen and then pick them, like that. We'll see how I'm able to do it. If not, then I'm just going to narrate it for you and let you know what I think the schedule is going to be or what I think our record's going to be for this schedule. So look forward to that video, okay? And then after that, a day later or so, I'll drop the preview video. I'm dropping the preview video on Saturday, okay? So it will come out Saturday at some point for the Colts game. In that prediction, of course, I will have the score I think the game will be. Anyway, so as you can see, we're gearing back up. All right? More content is coming from your boy. All right, just letting you know that's what's in the works. Let's get into the defense. All right, just like yesterday, I'm gonna let you know how the defense was last year as far as personnel. Okay, each position, the key guys, not everybody, the key guys, right? And then let you know how I felt about them going into the year, how I felt about them at the end of the year, and if we upgraded that position based on the letter grade I gave them at the end of last year. All right. Now that you got that, let's get into it. Why don't we? We're going to start with the defensive line, okay? Defensive line. Let's start with the edge rushers, okay? Edge rushers. We had just got Chop. We had Chubb injured, so he wasn't going to be starting the year. So guess what? Chop was going to have to stand step up. And we also had Jalen Phillips, right? And that was on the edge for the edge rushers. That was pretty much it. You could have possibly maybe talked about a Mo Kamara, or a Quentin Bell as well, but there wasn't a lot of great depth when it comes to edge rushers last year because Chubb was not going to be available. Going into that year, because we didn't know what we were going to get from Chop, that was an unknown. Because we knew Jalen Phillips was coming off an injury, although we expected him to play pretty well, I would say my expectations for them were probably about a B, right? But then when you go through the season, you don't get Chubb back. He didn't come back at all. Chop finally started turning around towards the second half of the year. And then Phillips got hurt. Okay? He got hurt. We ended the year based on injuries and subpar backup play at a C-. Okay? It was a C-. Could have been a D, but Chop really held his own. So I got to give him at least a C-. I can't go D. So C- is how we ended the year. Now, what did we do to possibly get better, or did we stay the same, or did we get worse? Chop. All right, going into a second year now. We're expecting a small jump at the least. Phillips seems to be healthy. Chubb is healthy. We did not stay pat with those three. We went also got Matthew Judon, a vested veteran, been around the game a while, and he's a beast, or was a beast at least, right? So you have Chubb and Judon added this year to what wasn't there last year. That gives you depth, right? Also, on top of that, we're expecting guys to take the next jump. So this year, what I'm looking at on paper going into the year is no less than a B+. Okay? This is a B+, no less than that. And I could really say A- if I wanted to, But I'll keep it respectable because we don't know what we're gonna get from Chubb in a regular game. We don't know what we're gonna get from Jalen. All right, and it gives room for improvement. At the end of the year, they could go up to an A or A plus, even depending on how they played throughout the year and depending on how they stayed healthy as well, right? So that's what I'm going to go with. B plus. So they upgraded from the end of last year. They definitely did that. They upgraded from the end of last year. It was a C minus position based on injuries and everything like that. And now that they're getting guys back, right? And now that Chop is heading into a second year, Phillips needs to play well to earn his contract this year and things like that. Now it's looking up. It's looking up. All right. So bravo to the Dolphins for actually upgrading this position a little bit by adding Judon, but also, it just getting guys back, right? And guys are healthy going into the year. So that's good. Now let's move on to the defensive line tackle wise, right? Last year, it wasn't bad. You had Sealer, you had Campbell, okay? You had Benito Jones. I mean, you had guys that could step in and do some things for you when it came to the defensive line, right? So what happens in the offseason, right? We lose Campbell. But before then, grade-wise, you think about it, it was looking like an A-minus position, right? Just with the two starters because they were really good. Throughout the year as well, going into the end of the year, what did we end up with? We ended up with an A, all right? Campbell played well for us throughout the year, and Sealer had a beast of a year for himself. So we ended that position with an A based on those two guys staying as healthy as possible and based on them playing the way they were playing, okay? That position was an A for me. Going into 2025, thinking that maybe we could keep Campbell and it could stay that. That's not what happened. Campbell left. All right. So what do we do? Okay. Because you end at an A, and now you lose one of the key pieces that made it an A position. You went and got Kenneth Grant. You went and got Jordan Phillips. And now you paired them with Sealer. And what do you have? Right? Because you also have Benito Jones as well. And so that gives you some depth, right? You got some depth. And you also have Zeke Biggers as well, who's no slouch. So you have some depth here, although the top end is not as good as it once was, although there is definitely potential there, right? We do have potential there, and we can fully say that for sure because well, let's think about it for a second, right? These are rookies, 3 rookies. All right, so you're hoping one of them at least pans out, and I would hope Kenneth Grant does, but I'm really betting that Phillips will because Phillips showed up all of preseason. He really flashed on screen for me, so that's what I'm expecting. What is the grade? Grade based on unknowns, because we have unknowns. We know what Sealer's going to give us. All right. Sealer by himself is worth at least a B, right? So, with the unknowns coming in and we don't know how they're going to play, I will leave it at a B. Can't upgrade it any more than that because they're unknowns. So, we got down from an A to a B, okay? From an A to a B. It's not that far of a steep of a drop. It's not horrible, but it ain't great either, right? So we got to see if these guys can end up being an A like they were last year to end the year. Let's move on. We're going to go to linebackers, okay? We're not going to do outside linebackers, just linebackers in general. Last year, we had just got Brooks, and then we had David Long coming back for his second year with us, okay? Going into the year, we didn't know what to expect from Jordan Brooks, really. We knew he was a decent player, didn't know how good he would be, and then we were expecting David Long to take the next step, right, to be even better than he was the previous year because he was going to be of how we expected him to be utilized in this new offense that we were going to be running because it was his first year with us. How did we end the year? All right. Grade wise, at the beginning of the year, I would have said probably going in expectations wise B minus. Okay, because David Long and I'm thinking that Brooks is going to play well. Well, throughout the year, we saw a downgrade completely in Long. He didn't end up playing too much more in this. I mean, he didn't end up playing the whole season. We ended up cutting him, moving on from him, and Brooks balled out. Brooks really held his own, but we didn't have much depth there, right? We had a few guys coming in and out of the lineup, but it wasn't really anything sticking until we got Dotson, right? Once Terrell Dotson came, then it started to, okay, you started to see the vision, right? So at the end of the year, it was a B minus going into the year. We ended the year a C plus. All right, because you know what? No, I'm not gonna say C plus. I'm gonna leave it at a B minus because Dotson actually came in and he made some plays. Right, he wasn't consistent, but he was just learning the system. So I'm gonna give him a pass on that, and I'm gonna call it a B minus. All right. Now off season. We get Dotson back. We have obviously Brooks coming back as well. Then we go pick up KJ Britt, depth, and we go pick up Willie Gay Jr., more depth, and he was a beast for most of camp as well. All right, so we actually upgraded this position. Spoiler alert: I see this position as right now a B plus. All right, not even a B plus position because I'm expecting Dotson to be better. He's been decent in training camp. Brooks has been the leader of the defense so far with Steeler. Then you also have depth now, real depth. KJ Britt, decent. William Gay Jr. can play outside linebacker and he could play middle linebacker as well. So we have real depth there. And these are guys that have been in the league a while. They know how to play. They play well together. I'm expecting a B plus or better, right? So we'll see what it is at the end of the year. But right now, B plus unit. Okay, so as of right now on defense, it's not looking that bad. It really ain't. All right, we're really not looking that bad on defense. Now let's go ahead on to safeties. Last year, Poyer, Holland. Those are the two guys we had last year. Poyer, Holland. All right. Backup, it was just it was what it was when it came to the backups, right? But starting, that wasn't bad. We expected Poyer to, be able to hold his own, and then we wanted to see Javon Holland take the next step to getting paid. Javon Holland actually he took a step back, and Jordan Poyer was not that good. So if I was going into that year expecting a B plus, we ended the year at a B minus. Okay, it wasn't horrible. C plus. See, B minus is too high. We ended the year C plus because Jordan Poyer really took a step. He really took a step back, and Javon Holland did not take a step up. All right, so that potential I would have gave him at the beginning of the season, I could not give him. C plus unit to end the year. That was not good. It was not good. Okay, what did we do? Here's what we ended up doing. We got rid of both those guys. Okay, told them to go ahead, go on, run around, and then because of a trade, we ended up getting Minkah Fitzpatrick. So now we have Minkah Fitzpatrick. We signed a free agency, Ashton Davis and Ilafanu. Okay, so now we have a little bit of depth, and then we also brought back to the team one of the guys we had last year. I cannot remember his name right now. Number 22, right? So we brought him back as well. And then we have depth now on the team, which is really good to see. Is it as top end good as it could have been like we were thinking about last year? Not necessarily because we had two guys that were there in position that could have played. Now we only have one, but the one makes up for the two. So I can't say it's that far of a drop at all. Plus, we added depth that we didn't have last year. So I'm going to upgrade this position. We ended at a C plus last year, and I'm giving us a solid B going into this year. Solid B at that position at safety because of the play of Minka Fitzpatrick. We already know he's going to be a beast. And then you have Ashton Davis, who could play a little bit. Ilafanu, who could also play a little bit. And then we got a little bit of depth back there as well. Okay, so I like what I'm seeing from the safety unit now that we have Minka Fitzpatrick. Before that, oh boy. All right, but now that we have him, we're good there. Okay, I'm not upset about what we're seeing there. And then we also have versatility, and I'm going to tell you why. When it comes to the corners, right? Going into last year, we didn't really know who was going to play opposite Jalen Ramsey. We were hoping that one of these guys was going to step up. And, Kato Cole, who held his own, Storm Duck kind of held his own as well. And Ethan Bonner did not, okay? Those are the three guys we were hoping were going to step their game up. Kohu kind of, and Ramsey definitely fell off a little bit. Going into the year with Ramsey, expecting him to play well and expecting some of these guys to step up, I had it at a B, right? Because of Jalen Ramsey. We ended the year at a C because of Jalen Ramsey, right? He just did not play well last year for the most part. It was not good. Kohu did not play as well as we needed him to, and Storm Duck was up and down, and Bonner just could not really see the field, right? So what do we do in this offseason right here? Well, in the offseason, we add Jack Jones. All right, we late pick, but we end up adding back Jack Jones. We brought back Storm Duck, bringing back Kohu, and then late in the offseason, we end up finally getting somebody formidable, or Rasul Douglas, right? So these are the guys we have stepping up for us to play this year compared to last year. Going into the year, B, nah. It ain't that good. All right, C plus. How we ended last year with a C. It ain't that bad. So I'm gonna give it a C plus. Okay, this is a C plus unit going in. All right, so we got a B with the safeties, and then we got a C plus unit out of the corners. Right now, here's the problem: Kohu got hurt. He's not there. All right, we also had signed another cornerback that we thought was going to be able to play for us. He also got hurt for the year as well. So two guys that we thought that might be able to come in and help us out, they're not going to be able to do so. So now we're going to be leaning heavily on Storm Duck playing well, Jack Jones playing well, and Rasul Douglas actually playing well as well. So right now, C plus. That's what I'm giving that unit. Can't give them any better than that. I'm hoping it ends up better, and I'm also hoping that maybe we can make a trade at some point for somebody even better than that. We did sign a guy from the waiver process that is supposed to be able to come in and possibly help us out, give us a little more depth because we don't have good depth in this position. So we're hoping for that, but we don't know. All right, there's a bunch of unknowns at corner. Makes my stomach a little queasy at corner as well because it's just not. It ain't that good. Jack Jones is a wild card. We don't really know what we're going to get from him. One play he could get burnt. The next play he could be taking a pick back for 6 points, right? So because of these unknowns, I'm going to give it a C+. Is it a little better than how we ended last year? Yes. Slightly, in my opinion, better because we got some guys there that can play, but you're losing Jalen Ramsey. All right. Here's why I say, right, because I told you that I'm going to explain the versatility and safety. Here's why I say also that it's a little bit better because Ilafanu and Minka can also play if they need to play, right? Because we have three safeties that could really start for you. If they need to play, they can play slot, Okay, so if for whatever reason we need one of those guys to play slot, we also have Jason Marshall Jr., who's going to be starting at slot for us. All right, he's a rookie. He's a little bit of an unknown. If we need one of those guys to step in and play slot, they can. Ilafanu and Minka. While you still have Ashton Davis back there manning the free safety or strong safety spot and bringing one of those two guys down to help out while the other guy stays on the field. That's how you get three safeties on the field, and that can help you out because those guys can cover a little bit better than the unknowns. So that's why I say that. C plus. All right. That is it as a regard to all the positions on the team that I want to talk about. Kicker, long snapper, and punter, I don't care to talk about. Okay, I just don't. Okay, we're hoping that Sanders gets back and is healthy. We're gonna have to rely on this dude that's coming in, Riley or whatever his name is, for 3 weeks at the least. Let's hope Sanders comes back soon. He gave us the golden foot last year, so we need that golden foot back. All right, I'll holler at y'all in the next one. Y'all already know what it is. Fins up till we die. Matter of fact, before I leave, here's one thing I did want to make sure I showed y'all real quick. All right, and this is some real good information. All right, especially for you parents and future parents out there. You're gonna want to watch this clip. Play the clip.
In a world that's louder, faster, and more confused than ever, our children are the battleground. While the culture shapes their identity, who's shaping their soul? While voices shout lies, are they hearing truth at home? Raising godly children is more than behavior. It's about heart transformation. It's not just parenting, it's discipleship. It's not just survival, it's legacy. In this powerful and practical book, Dr. David Pierre equips you to lead your children in truth, love, holiness, and purpose. This book is not only for parents, it also speaks powerfully to young adults who are searching for their purpose and identity in God, offering clarity, healing, and direction. Whether your child is 2, 12, or 22, it's never too late to raise them God's way. Your home can be a holy ground. Your parenting can echo into eternity. And yes, God can redeem the story. Get your copy of Raising Godly Children on ChristianFamilyCourses.com and on Amazon.
All right. Look, man, get yourself this book right here, please. Do yourself a favor. Hopefully it'll catch it well, but if not, then there's a little bit of a glare. But get yourself this book. All right. If you don't do nothing else, get yourself this book right here, Raising Godly Children. Y'all know I'm a Christian. Y'all know I profess my faith, and you know how I am not shy about that at all. Right. If you are a believer, even if you're not, right, get this book. Okay, get this book. Change your kids' lives. All right, this is the type of thing I'm about. I'm about uplifting and bettering people and making sure that people level up. And this is a level up book. All right, it'll level up your parenting. It'll level up your self-esteem. It'll level up your identity. All right, your identity, who you are, who you're supposed to be, who you were called to be. This book will help you with that. All right, 100%. Guaranteed it will help you with that. You read this book, you take what's in here, and you apply it to your life, it's going to increase who you are and how you feel about yourself. And it's also going to help you have a better relationship with your maker, Christ, God. All right. So, and it's also, if you have kids, going to help you raise them better. All right. Because that's what this book is about as well. All right. Raising godly children is going to help you help those kids be better than what the world would want them to be. All right. So do yourself a favor. Do yourself a solid. Go on Amazon. Get yourself this book right here. I have read through most of this book, and it is an excellent book, all right? And yes, disclaimer, my dad wrote this book. All right, my dad is a pastor. And he's been a pastor for a while, and the reason why me, my brother, my sister came out the way we came out. All right, and not most of you know my testimony or know about me too well, but understand that I've never been in trouble, never been anything like that, and the man I am, the man you see before you, that you've seen on video for the last 4 or 5 years, is a product of this book, of what's in this book anyway. All right. So please do yourselves a favor, get the book. All right. And when you get the book, let me know that you got the book and I'll shout you out. I'll holler at y'all. Love y'all. I'm out.